Hey guys, it's the late night hour. Where y'all at? I just want to tell those of you who's listening, who need to know that I want you to keep your same energy at all times. Whatever you be thinking in your head when you talk to me, I kind of want you to keep your same energy. Yeah. I was at this church. I used to work in a church, first and foremost. I worked in a church for like 5-6 years. I decided to no longer work for the church. Hold on, let me silence my phone. I decided to no longer work for the church because I found a job that was paying a little bit better. So I decided that I would go and find a new place of business. When I did that, the transfer, you know, you get your 2-week notice. It wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be fine. It just wasn't as smooth. I can't tell y'all what happened. It just wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be, me leaving the church. I was not leaving the church congregation. I was just leaving that job. Anyway, so got to a situation one day where we had this meeting, and the meeting was with all the members, the church members, this, that, and the other. And I hadn't been back in the church for a while, like a long while, but this was like a situation which brought me back to church. So I walked in the church, and this young lady came up to me who didn't go to that church. And she said, "Hey, Nora, don't tell nobody, but I be watching all your social media." So I didn't get that, because she told me in the church. Now we standing in the church, and she says, "Don't tell nobody, but I've been watching all your social media." So I know when I resigned from this church that everybody wasn't happy. Everybody didn't agree on it. I ruffled some feathers when I left, because I knew it was a bad time for me to leave. But for whatever reason, I left the church, because it's all about self. Sometimes you have to worry about self sometimes. And at that moment, I knew I needed to make a move in my life, because that wasn't the best thing for me. I was not leaving the congregation. I was leaving my job. So the lady told me, she's a pastor. I'm not a pastor, okay? I'm not even close to a pastor. But the lady told me, "Don't tell nobody, Nora. Don't tell nobody, but I'll be watching you." And it didn't sit well with me, but I was in the church, and I felt like the devil was busy. But the devil wasn't really busy, because we give the devil too much credit. Sometimes the devil don't be busy. Sometimes it be God showing us who's for you and who's not for you. So when she said that, I kind of laughed. I said, "Okay, that's cool." So it has been bothering me the whole while. I mean, it's been months ago that this has been bothering me. So tonight, and I know she's gonna see this, and I don't kind of care that she see it, because the energy shifted. But tonight, I get a text message and say, "Hey, check me out. I preached." So they wanted me to hear the sermon. I can't respect your sermon when I know your energy ain't always the same. I can't respect what you say when I know that you got two faces for different stuff. Let me explain to y'all something about Nora Potts, okay? I am so sometimes honest. Like, it ain't always true, okay? It ain't always true. It ain't always good. I ain't gonna say it ain't always true, but it ain't always good to be so honest. Because I went to church every Sunday. Every Sunday I was in church. Not only was I in church every Sunday, but I know God, okay? I don't need to be in the church to know God. I just know God. And I know things that I was doing that wasn't lining up with what God wanted me to do. But God knew me. God knew. You can't do nothing that God does not allow you to do. Okay? So I'm sitting here and I'm in a church and I'm not feeling whatever I'm going through because it ain't lining up with my beliefs anymore. So if it ain't lining up with my beliefs and I feel like I need to move, then I'm moving, but respect my movement. Respect that some things you grow out of. And it might be time for a change. It might be time for you to move. And what I think that clergy does not understand is you are put here for an assignment. You have an assignment. And your assignment, clergy, your assignment is not to pick and choose sides if it ain't lined up with the word. I need to say that again. Your assignment, clergy, is not to pick and choose sides if it's not lined up with the word. Sometimes we allow our feelings to get in the way. We allow our feelings to take over when we have now pushed God up out of the equation because we so busy worried about self. But when you took on this assignment, you agreed that you are going to follow God. You agreed that you are going to do the Lord's will. That's what you agreed to. You didn't say if it does something to me. And you guys are human. Don't get me wrong. But when you see the human side of you taking over, then that's when you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to go back to God and you got to say, God, this ain't flowing right. And God will give you a way out. God will give you a way to deal with it. But when you call yourself dealing with things on your own term, God ain't going to be happy with that. When you don't seek God, and don't get me wrong, Nora Potts was not living right. But if I'm not living right, if I'm not doing God's will, if you as a pastor, reverend, clergy, or whatever, if you know that Sister Potts ain't living right, I'm going to talk to Sister Potts. I'm not going to talk to everybody around Sister Potts because God allowed me to go to Sister Potts. That's me being Sister Potts. God allowed you to go to me and have conversation because you have that authority. You can come to me and say, Tisa, I heard what you've been doing and it ain't quite right. Okay? But we forget that and we let our human side take over. And you rather me go to hell because you so busy over there being judgmental that you don't want to come to me in love and harmony like God told you to do. Yeah. And then you say things and you do things. You say things and you do things to make those around you follow suit. So are y'all following God or are y'all following the preacher with the problem? Because if the preacher got a problem with me, I don't see why you got a problem with me because what I did to you. So when you come to me and you tell me, oh, I listened to all your lives, I listened to all your stuff, but don't tell nobody. Keep that same energy and don't talk to me. Keep the same energy. Because me, myself, nor I don't care. Like, I don't care who don't talk to me. I have a group of friends that's going to talk to me at all times. I have siblings that's going to talk to me at all times. I have a God that I can talk to at all times. Okay? And when I go to him, because he already know what I'm doing. So when I go to him and I say, God, you see me down here showing out on you. You see me not doing your will your way. And God is going to deal with me. He's going to deal with my heart. And when he deals with me, Because me and God got a relationship. So it ain't like y'all talking to somebody that don't know when they doing wrong. When God deals with me, he's going to say, Nora, I'm going to give you another chance to tighten up. And if you don't tighten up, it's destruction. Like when I'm going to give you your warning, Nora. And if you don't listen, it's destruction. But that's between me and God. So when you come to me, clergy, and you form some type of opinion, or you do, like, I don't like it. It didn't sit well in my spirit. And not only did it not sit well in my spirit, it didn't sit well in my spirit when you say, don't tell nobody that I follow you. I still follow you. What I did for you not to follow me? What kind of conversation was you having that you told me not to tell nobody, clergy? You're a whole pastor out here. You told me not to tell nobody you follow me? Am I doing something that's going to lead you to hell? What am I doing on my social media, clergy? That don't line up. That don't line up. And I will ask you that because I hate when people say nobody but God can judge me. That's not true. Because God put people here. Like if you and me, we are both saying we are Christian. We believe in the same things. We want to do the same things. We want to live the same way. We want to live right. Then you can correct your brother. You can correct your sister. Now, if ain't nobody confess Christ, ain't nobody thinking about God, I can't go out there and be worried about judging you. I can't worry about going out there and trying to tell you you ain't living right because you ain't even accepted Christ. So how I'm going to tell you what you're doing? And Reggie, it ain't the point of it's my page. It's the point of the energy that you keep. Not only the energy that you keep, but being clergy. We watch you. We watch you. Because we mess up. And the closest thing, when you don't know God, the closest thing to God is that reverend that's standing in front of you. That reverend that's preaching every Sunday at the pulpit. That's the closest thing to you. So if I'm sitting here and I think something special of you and you thinking like me, your mind ain't right. Get up out the pulpit. Get up out the pulpit. Simple as that. Get out the pulpit. When you get out the pulpit. Because you don't have the same love that God has. You don't have it. You can't have it. It's something about God, okay? Something about God. When you know him, he will not allow that. You can't have hate in your heart and God in your heart at the same time. There is no room. There's no room. Reggie, it was a situation. I left the church. I did not leave the congregation. I left the church for a different job. So when I left, I don't know the conversation that took place when I wasn't around. But whatever the conversation was that took place when I wasn't around, it twisted feelings about me. The only person that could have been mad when I left, that should not have been mad when I left, because I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to prosper. I want everybody to be the best they can be. And if God told you to move, who am I to stop you? If God told you to move, who am I to stop you? I don't know. But I just didn't like the idea when you tell me, don't tell nobody that I follow you. But don't send me no more sermons then. Don't send me no more sermons, because the energy ain't the same. Because I know you behind the robe. I know you from behind the pulpit. I know that person up there in the pulpit ain't the same person. And I know when they get up there, they go to preaching, they go to say God. When they do their prayer before they go to preaching, they say less of me and more of you. But I want you to live that same life right here. Don't just get behind the pulpit and ask God to say less of me and more of you. No, you do that when you wake up in the morning. You get right when you wake up in the morning. Because you wear a different robe. God will judge clergy differently. Okay? He ain't judging us all the same. God got a special place for you guys. And he don't want to know who you drove away from my house. Who you drove away from the love of God. Because some of us are still babies. Some of us do not know. Some of us do not know that I don't need clergy. I do not need a church house. I do not need somebody to pray for me. Don't get me wrong. I believe in intercessors, but I believe that I have a relationship with God now. So I can go to God and I can let my requests be known to God. And I'm not taking people from the church house because I still believe in congregating with like-minded people. I just got to find me a new home. That's all. Because there's no way I can sit up under somebody who I don't respect. You ain't had no problems. You ain't had no problems. Like you ain't had no problems. But you want to tell me how to get over them? I like people that water's been troubled. I like to know how you act when the waters were troubled. That's what I want to know. But I don't like it though. Because when you sat up there and said, okay, God, I'm going to be your mouthpiece. I'm going to be a vessel for you. Lord, I'm going to do what you asked me to do. Then God wanted you to go get his sheep. He didn't want you to leave nobody behind. He didn't say because Noah was out there sinning and doing all kinds of sinful things that you don't go get Noah. He didn't say that. God didn't say leave Noah because Noah ain't walking right and talking right. Because she don't look like me. God said go get that one. That one who getting away. Noah getting away. Go get her. Go get Noah because she's showing out. Draw her in with love and kindness. Draw her in with scripture. Let her know that you care. No, you about to go to hell, girl. Tighten up. And don't get me wrong. I wasn't doing nothing what nobody else doing. But look, hold on. I get even deeper. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't doing nothing that no other pastor was doing. Okay? You hear me? So when you sit up in the church and you hear and you see, when you sit up in the church and you hear and you see, it discourages you sometimes when you don't have your eyes on God. So when I took my eyes off God and I started looking at man, and that's why I lost myself. That's where I started to sink. And that's why I felt like sinful things could go on because these people showing out anyway. Tisa, quit looking at the man. Keep your eye on me. Do what I told you to do. Don't do what's going on in the environment around you. And that's what I did. I started doing what the environment was doing around me. Y'all, I was sure of that. But for whatever reason, I just feel like keep your same energy. Like don't fake with people. Don't go in the pulpit and preach one thing and come out of the pulpit and do another. Don't go in the pulpit don't go in the pulpit and tell me to forgive somebody 7 times 7. Or however many times God told you to forgive somebody. And then you got some people that you can't forgive. You got some skeletons in your closet that you don't want to deal with. You got some sinful ways that you doing right now. I'm going to tell you now, one sin ain't no different from the other. One sin ain't no different from the other. So if you over there stealing and you over there fornicating, y'all two sinful people. Ain't no sin better than the other. Because you ain't no thief, then you better than her. Because you ain't cheating on your husband, then you better than him? No. That's not it. Everything is nasty in God's eyes. So don't think because your sin is different from mine, your sin is different from your neighbor, your sin is different from your spouse, your sin is different from the members of your church. And just because we don't see what you got going on, does that mean, it don't mean you don't got it going on. It does not mean you don't have it going on, because you got it going on. It's just that we don't see it. But if you know, like I know, that God sees all. So what's the difference? Y'all better quit playing with God, because he ain't nobody to be playing with. I ain't playing. Y'all better quit playing with God. Y'all better quit playing with God, and y'all better quit playing with people, because people hurt your feelings. People hurt your feelings, and people will come and they'll tell you about yourself, and then you'll be mad, and you'll feel like they're violating clergy because you told them how you feel. Don't do that to me. Don't put me in a position to tell you how I feel, because I tell you how I feel. I will. Now, I ain't in Jamaica yet. I'll be there next week, Wednesday. But anyway, keep your same energy. If you know me, and however you present yourself to me, that's how I want you to present yourself every time. Because the energy you get from me is going to be the same energy. I don't care who's around. Hey, Miss Moore, I don't care who's around. Whatever energy you get from me, it ain't going to change when people come around. If my energy change when people come around, then you know I'm fake. You know I'm phony. You know we have a conversation about you that we shouldn't have. That we just didn't feel brave enough to tell you. And I'm 50 years old. Ain't nowhere in the hell somebody gonna mute my mouth, and I can't say what I said once and twice. Twice, once. You know what I'm trying to say. What I said once, I can say twice. They say when people lie, it's because they're afraid of you or they got something to gain. I don't have no reason to lie to you. My energy gonna stay the same. At all times. At all times. But anyway, clergy, this was for y'all, okay? Quit judging people to the degree that you judge them. Quit judging people from your human self. When you get ready to do stuff like that, then go talk to God. And then if you talk to God every morning, okay? If you talk to God every morning, clergy, and you say that same prayer, when you get in that pulpit and you tell God, less of me and more of you, clergy, if you tell God that in the morning time, you'll learn how to deal with your members in the church. You'll learn how to deal with those sinners that you smell. You know, I said God is a stench to God's nose. Who is you? Like, who are you? You need to start asking God, because when we see two different people, when we see you to be two different people, it makes us not respect clergy. It makes us not respect the robe. It makes us shy away from the church house. Because I can't believe for some reason that same man is the one up there preaching that good word on Sunday. But on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he was full of hell. But Sunday you get up there and you say, God, less of me and more than you. Say that Monday through Sunday. Say it all. Yeah, say it all. Fernandez said, I don't know that you are right to speak the truth, but leave that behind and go. Look, okay, so I don't have a problem. Let me explain when I do things, okay? Because I do not want a person of little faith, a person of weak faith, to feel like God has failed them because a pastor or clergy or a mother in the church or somebody in the church has failed them. So sometimes we get it confused and we think because the people, somebody in the church has heard us that the church ain't no good. Then we back away from the church because the church ain't no good. So I'm not the only one. Somebody is going to hear this and they're going to think of, don't do that. Somebody is going to hear this and somebody is going to think, maybe I should find another church. Maybe it wasn't church, the whole church that hurt me. I do want to continue to get that feeling that I got when I congregated and I joined like-minded people. And we allow one person to come into our situation and mess up our relationship with God. Because we weren't strong enough to know that we can go to him by ourselves. We weren't strong enough to know that this church hurt is that person's hurt. This ain't the whole church hurt. This is that person in the church that hurt me. And then that one bad seed in the church then spoiled all the seeds. You know, like the weed and the tear. God say don't remove the weeds. Okay? Don't remove the tear. Because of what you think you can pluck out. He say he'll do the plucking. Because we might pluck out the wrong stuff. So you can't, pastor, clergy, whoever, you can't be doing the plucking. You got to keep praying. You got to keep asking God to be less of you know what I'm trying to say. I just got interrupted a little bit. But for whatever reason, y'all, clergy, I was talking to y'all. Okay, I ain't gonna keep talking to y'all, but y'all understand. So tonight, before you go to that pulpit in the morning, before you go to talk to your congregation, tonight, let this be your prayer. Less of me, more of you. All the days through. Not just when I get up in your pulpit between the hours of 10 and 2. But all the days. Let me be an example of you. Let me be the closest thing to you that I could be. Because somebody's watching me. And somebody wants to know about God. Somebody wants to know about this God that has been helping so many people. This God that Nora know. Somebody want to know. But you over there showing out and you blocking people's blessings. Because they don't know that they can reach up and talk to God without you. So you stunting their growth. I'm going to let y'all go. I just didn't like what happened. Nora, I'm watching you. Don't tell nobody I'm watching you. I ain't did nothing that you can't watch me. I ain't doing nothing that you can't watch me. And then you send me your sermon. This me preaching. I don't care about that because the energy shifted. So I don't even care what you say no more. Your word is dull in my ears. I don't care about that. Let me go because people trying to sneak out on me. I'll hit y'all later.